Let's go.
Hello, everybody. My name is Caleb. That is Jordan. Welcome back to
Yeah.
Shenanigans. This is episode 3. Thank you all for tuning in and watching episode 2. We had a big increase in viewership, and I thank you all for that. So, what's up to everyone new? I see we got some people from Belgium watching us. That's crazy. We have a couple people in Belgium. Hello, Belgium. I didn't even know that people in Belgium were interested in American sports, but maybe that was the UFC we talked about last week. And Jordan, what is our first topic for today?
Well, I mean, first of all, I just want to talk about, us this week, see what we've been up to. My job's been going great. I wanted to see how you've been doing with your life a little bit.
Oh, I've been doing pretty good. Honestly, I've been thinking of ideas, merchandise. I do music on my off time. I've been thinking about when I'm gonna drop some music.
Oh, yeah,
Speaking of
man.
merchandise, we have a Patreon now. That'll be in the link in our description or bio of wherever you're listening to right now. You can pay, and we have exclusive things for our subscribers. We have 2 packages right now, a $5 package and a $15 package. Just go check that out if you're interested. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and also, if you've noticed, we have an intro now, and I would like to know what y'all think of that. Just say something in the comments, and then for our Patreon users, we'll have a poll there. That'll be all good.
So, I wanted to introduce a new segment this week because of our unprofessionalism, mostly on my part. But this is going to be what we forgot, and it's probably going to be every week, unless I've been writing down a little more and keeping track a little bit better. But
Me too.
what we forgot most of all last week was the Gerard Mayo hire.
I know, that was crazy.
Yeah,
A hire from inside.
yeah, and he was, I'm a Rams fan, and we got the youngest coach until now, so I should have remembered that.
He's younger by
Um,
like fucking months.
all I've seen of him so far is him making Robert Kraft feel awkward, uh, and I don't know anything about him as a player. I don't think I've seen any of his plays, or I wasn't a fan back then when he was a big player, but I'm excited for it. That's cool. It's a new start for the Patriots, and it's also going to be interesting because, yeah, Bill Belichick. I don't know how much we spoke about it, but he's going to probably be a Falcon unless they mess around and fuck that up. But uh, that would be a crazy matchup. Hopefully that's a scheduled matchup if that's how the hiring works out. I'd love to see the Falcons Patriots with their new coaching. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool, honestly. He's gonna go fix what he fucking destroyed, man.
Well, I mean,
28-3, man. How do you let that go? I still think about that to this day. To this day!
pretty day. Are there any? I don't know if there's any Falcons players left over from that Super Bowl on the roster. Probably not. They're really young. Uh, no, I think there might be an edge rusher on their D line. His name I'm forgetting. And they have a really good. Damn, I feel stupid for
What
forgetting
team are
that,
you
but I
talking?
think
What
there's
team are you
one
talking
guy.
about?
The Falcons.
The
The
Falcons.
Falcons. There's like this old edge rusher that they still have. I think with Calais Campbell this year. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyway, let's moving on from Gerard Mayo. Well, cool hire. I wanted to talk about, obviously, let's get into our playoff reactions.
Oh
Is
man,
the divisional round? Yeah, it was a.
this was a good round as compared to last week. Last week sucked.
I won't lie. I mean, I fell asleep for the ending of the Chiefs Bills game, but
Oh man, you should have
why don't we
seen
start
it.
there?
That was crazy. You want to start on Chiefs Bills? Okay.
Yeah, let's start with Chiefs
Let's
Bills. Why
start on
not?
Chiefs Bills. I predicted Bills, but I'm really not surprised that the Chiefs won at all. Like, Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, I shouldn't really bet against him. I don't really, like, honestly, I don't know what I expected. Especially, I really didn't know that the Bills had 4 linebackers out. Like, when I started watching the game, they said the Bills only have 3 linebackers active. I was like, what the fuck? Like, that was crazy. So I'm really not surprised. And Sean Hockley's refereeing. I'm really not surprised either.
The
But I'm not gonna blame it, man. Josh Allen on that last drive, man. Even though he got hit, I still think he could have made that throw to make that a touchdown. Just like 2 yards short, man, of an underthrow. What the hell, man? Like, fuck. And then Stephon Diggs was wide open way before fucking Josh Allen ever got hit, and he was wide open for a first down. The Bills had 2 timeouts. They could have thrown to Diggs. Timeout. And I know Diggs dropped the ball, but still, throw to the wide open man. And the clock still stops, and it's just 3rd down. Like, come on, dude. You still have chances, man. Like, they really screwed themselves.
Yeah.
And their defense didn't help, especially with those injuries.
Well, it's the one of the biggest things, especially for this exact matchup.
And then
they signed Von Miller.
Mahomes played really good. Pacheco played amazing. I was right about Travis Kelce having 75 yards. I was right about him breaking out.
He's the best receiver.
Yeah, I know. I was right about him breaking out, and I got some money off of that bet. So I hope y'all got some money off of them bets too last week. Some of them hit, some of them didn't. I got some more later today.
Oh, yeah, and as far as the Bills, like, they signed Von Miller for this exact matchup, like to get after Mahomes for when it was time, and he did that for the most part in their 1 week like regular season matchup last year when he was healthy. Then he tore his ACL, and he's come back and he's not done anything. He's got like 1 tackle all year since he came back.
He's an old man.
Yeah, but he was an old man last year.
Yeah, he's an old man with an injury this year.
Unfortunate, and whatever's going on with Stephon Diggs is unfortunate. You've told me plenty that you want him to be a Cowboy next year. He's going to be just as productive as Brandon Cooks was this year if he looks like that.
Honestly, yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's a Cowboys ass signing right there. Let's get this guy who's just not going to be good in our offense anymore.
I really hope we fucking I hope we draft Blake Corum.
That's not a receiver.
I know, but I hope we draft Blake Corum. I hope we re-sign Tony Pollard for a low price, because I think we can after this season. I don't think anyone's going to be paying him all too much after this season. So we'll probably get him back for a low cost. We'll get Blake Corum for the touchdowns, and to get our first downs, he'll be a good goal line back, a good fucking power guy. It'll be awesome, hopefully. I don't think we'll win like the Super Bowl or anything, but we'll probably make the playoffs again. It'll be cool.
Probably won't win the Super Bowl.
We'll probably get a wide receiver in free agency, or we might get a wide receiver in the draft. I don't know.
Maybe you will get Diggs and have the first brother.
I don't know. We might re-sign Brandon Cooks, and we might try to actually incorporate him more into the offense. And then we're obviously keeping our tight end, Ferguson, obviously.
Let's keep it on the Bills and Chiefs game. Tyler Ass missed the field goal. I did see that. I still saw that when I woke up. The big thing was a lot of players were just selling this game. Like, I don't remember who even caught I think it was Sherfield, right? The guy who should have caught that one bomb downfield. Because Allen plays just like so elite when he plays Mahomes for some reason. I mean, I know what the reason is.
Bills Chiefs games are always like classic games. They're always really good for some reason.
But don't forget the best moment. You know what? Actually, this should have been an honorary mention for Shenanigans, but we have something a little better. The fake punt to Damar Hamlin was ridiculous. Apparently, that was a check-in to a thing. Like, they were just going to do a punt, and then they realized that the Chiefs had 10 men on the field or something, and so then they went to do a run to Damar for, I think it was like 6 yards left, right, or something like that.
I don't remember.
It was a while, but that's all I have. Is there anything left?
Even at home, the Bills couldn't get it done.
Josh Allen is not the problem, but everything else might be.
He's not, but he could have won them that game if he threw to Diggs on that last drive. He was open for the first down, and they
It
had
sucks that they've been
timeouts.
injured so bad. Their injuries
God,
really do
man.
suck.
I know he was probably just looking downfield the whole time. He should have read the whole field. He should have seen Diggs there wide open, hit him, and then timeout. They have one timeout left, and they could just either tie it up or they could go for another shot because they have like 20 something seconds left. Like they could have done it, man. They really could have done it.
Speaking of 20-something seconds left and tying it off, the Buccaneers-Lions game had a controversy like that at the end. Did you see the timeout left over and the 40-something seconds left? They could have done a timeout and, maybe made a shot
Yeah.
with 12 seconds left. Yeah, Todd Bowles is taking some fire for that one.
And
Man, I'm not happy.
for the first time since 1991, since they had Barry Sanders carry them to a NFC Championship. This is their second NFC Championship appearance since then. But now they have an actual competent team, and it's not just Barry Sanders.
Yeah, speaking of Barry, before I talk about this game, I've seen a lot of people talking about sign him to a one-day deal if they can get to the Super
Oh, that's
Bowl
stupid.
and
Just
let him
sign him
take a
and the
snap.
staff.
Makes sense too, I guess. That'd be cooler if you saw him in uniform taking a knee, but
Assistant coach, man.
I didn't think that would be
Assistant
possible,
running
really.
back coach.
But then they just signed his name Ertz, Zach Ertz.
Oh,
They
they
just
did?
signed him. You didn't see that?
That wasn't a bad pickup because Laporta
No,
kind of gets hurt often.
no, but Brock Wright hurt himself. Their second tight end. That's why they got
No,
Ertz.
I know. I'm just saying Laporta's been kind of banged up this year too, so they need some guy to take the load off of Laporta.
Yeah, and in this game, it really just shows like Jared Goff he's just a tall guy that can play quarterback. This offensive line is insane. Jared Goff isn't running around making any kind of plays like Burrow is. Burrow's the same build, but he can do more than Jared Goff. But with Goff behind this O line that gives him like 5 fucking seconds to throw, he can do whatever. And he, let's see, what did he throw for in this game? Throw for 287 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look at what he did when he played with y'all, except for that Super Bowl game.
He'd never had a fucking line like that with us.
Yeah, that's true, but I mean, he still played really good with y'all.
Yeah, and Jameer.
y'all had a better line back then. Why do y'all think y'all's running game was so good? I mean, Todd Gurley was amazing, but y'all had a better line.
Yeah, Jameer Gibbs is the truth, man, and I'm glad. Even though he didn't do anything for me for the first half of the year in fantasy, I like him. They picked him at 12, and it panned out. Even with David Montgomery there. Let's do Texans Ravens.
Texans Ravens. Oh man, I was so wrong on that one. I thought the Texans were gonna upset the Ravens. I thought the Ravens were gonna be upset, but the Ravens got it
0.
done, and they're gonna be hosting their first AFC Championship game next
Oh
weekend.
man, 0 offensive touchdowns by the rookie of the year, man. That's
I'm actually
crazy.
really happy. That's funny. As a Michigan
Yeah, it is
fan, that's really
hilarious.
funny to know that C.J. Stroud has been denied playoffs by 2 Harbaughs now.
All I hear about is Michigan.
Oh, that's all you
Okay.
get to hear about, buddy.
Hey man, this game. Why did they use Dalvin Cook at all? I gotta look that up. I've been talking about Dalvin Cook with this team. Like I've been saying they need a superstar running back, and every time I say that, Caleb's like, "Oh, they got Dalvin Cook."
I
So
don't. I mean,
he hasn't even done anything.
he was just a superstar last year, man. It's crazy to fall off.
Very
He had
unfortunate.
8 carries for 23 yards. That's horrible. Gus Edwards 10 for 40. He did pretty good. Justice Hill did good. Lamar Jackson was by far the best rusher. Obviously, if you watch the game
He's the best rusher in the NFL.
in the
Just
NFL.
kidding. Justin Fields is actually more impressive of a runner to me when he gets going, but he's not as like elusive.
Hot
So,
take.
That is impressive like that. Like it's just his acceleration. Like he's just so fast. He looks like Derrick Henry running out there sometimes.
Yeah, so the defense, I could tell the Ravens defense was just putting on early, and then it was tied at halftime. I kind of had a feeling that the game would sway in the Ravens' way, like just the way their defense was playing. So I'm not surprised the way it went while I was watching the game, but I'm really surprised because I expected the Texans to kind of play it close and get an upset, but they didn't. And that's
Yeah,
good to the Ravens.
zero
I like the Ravens.
zero offensive touchdowns. That's
Um,
hilarious. Any
Next
more
game,
thoughts on that one? Nope. Okay.
nah, I just want to go straight into the next game. Packers Niners, man. I want to talk about that one.
That one was heartbreaking
That's
for
the
me. I
last
really wanted
one,
to see them
man.
lose.
That one was
Had this.
horrible. I really wanted the Niners to lose as well. I don't even care that the Packers beat us, man. Like I was just so
Yeah,
mad, like because the Packers really could have won that one. Their kicker fucked it up, but Jordan Love also had 2 interceptions. So it's honestly, it's not just on the kicker if you think about it.
I will say,
Like, why did
last
Jordan
week
Love do that? Why did he
because he's a
throw?
Packer.
He threw that. Why did he throw that, man? He threw that. That was so. It was right to him, man. That was so crazy. That was a crazy throw. He shouldn't have thrown that.
Well, let me look real quick because Dre Greenlaw had like a big game that game.
He did, but damn, man. Christian McCaffrey.
He had
He
2 interceptions and
Chris,
six
Christian
six
McCaffrey
tackles.
sealed off the game with the game-winning touchdown.
Purdy's still a fraud, but Kyle Shanahan did manage to win
Yeah,
a game
this
when
team
he was
looks
down by
beatable.
5.
This team looks
Yeah.
beatable.
You remember the stat last week I said where he had 0 wins going into the fourth quarter down by more than 5 or more points. He finally got one in the clutch. Good job, Kyle. You choked a few Super Bowls. You suck at coming back, and you did it in the playoffs for once versus a first-year starting quarterback. That's great for you.
All right.
I'm done with this. I'm sick of the Niners.
All right. Let's predict the conference championship games. You want to start with the NFC or the AFC?
Let's get the stupid Niners out of the way.
All right. Let's get the Niners Lions out of the way. I think, sadly, um, as much as I want to say the Lions, I think the Niners are going to do it. I think they're going to go to the Super Bowl. I think Shanahan's going to get his second appearance in Super Bowl 58, 4 years after his first.
Yeah, I feel like
I think the game will be close again. I think it'll look. I think people will start call. I think you'll call Brock Purdy a fraud again after this game, because I think the Lions will lose in close fashion. But I don't know, man. What do you think?
well, I'm. It's difficult for me because the Lions are healthy-ish, and they're hot right now, and the Niners looked not great last week, and they're questionable with Debo, right? He was hurt already last week, and then he didn't play the second half. 50-50 chance for him to play this week, and without Debo, they're below 500 record when he doesn't play. Like
Mm.
he's a big factor, especially with Brock Purdy, who can't throw anything past the sticks. Usually he throws behind the line of scrimmage, which is so annoying. And people are like MVP, woo yeah, but I don't know. Debo banged up. The Lions like to play dirty because they tore Tyler Higbee's ACL for no reason. I think the Lions can get the upset. I'm gonna manifest it. I think they'll play hard defense.
So
Brock Purdy will get scared.
I'm taking Niners. You're taking Lions.
Yeah, go Hutchinson. Hopefully he can do
Go
something instead
Hutchinson.
of
That's
Tank Hill.
100% true. Go
Yeah,
Lions. But I really want the Lions to win, but I think Niners will.
I don't
All
know.
right.
I'm liking the Lions playmakers, but
I
yeah,
understand that. I can see that happening. Um, all right, the AFC Championship game. Um, I'm not liking the referee. Um, I think as soon as I heard the referee announcement, man, that and then also it's just Patrick Mahomes. I know he's going away again against the Ravens defense, and the Ravens defense is looking real elite. But the Chiefs, man, I think they just get it done. I think they're a team built for the playoffs. I think the Ravens are too. That defense is. I think it'll be a really, really close game, a close battle. But in the end, I think the Chiefs will end up winning. I think it'll be a Chiefs-Niners Super Bowl again.
Ugh, rematches are so annoying.
I know.
Yeah,
I think it'll be the annoying one. I think out of all of the outcomes, I think the Super Bowl, I think it'll be the annoying one. It'll be Chiefs Niners.
my heart wants to say Lamar, honestly, because I want to see him get the ring this
Me
year.
too. But I can't.
But I'm uh
Can't go
I'm gonna
against
have to go
Mahomes
Chiefs.
and the
I'm gonna have to go with
Chiefs.
the Chiefs. I think you're right. Like the flags just come out of nowhere, man. Sometimes you can see them coming too. Like on an incomplete pass where the camera aims at the receiver for more than like a couple seconds, a flag will come out of nowhere, no matter how late the play is or whatever. I seen one in the last game, like an incomplete pass, and then I think maybe it was Miko Hardman or something. He just kind of stood there, and then the camera aimed at his face, and a flag went right past it, and I knew it was coming. Uh, and I don't know how Lamar will do if he has to like go in a shootout with Mahomes because he's kind of been leaning on the defense and his playmaking this year,
And the
which
Chiefs
is
have an
great.
elite defense as well.
Yeah, and he's just like that defense is going to be really hard for him to pick apart from the pocket. But Mark Andrews might be coming back.
I heard that. That's
That
crazy.
that could be the X factor there. But I'm gonna go Chiefs. So Chiefs Lions Super Bowl rematch week 1.
I could
Travis
see that.
Kelsey
I
and
could
Chris
see that
Jones.
happening, man. But I also do think it'll be the Chiefs Niners uh, rematch. So you're Chiefs Lions. I'm Chiefs Niners.
I would love it if I was wrong and it was just Lamar. I mean, even if the Niners got there,
Oh
I just
man,
want Lamar to get
Ravens
the ring.
Lions would be the best outcome.
Yeah, but not. I'll explain why I'm torn in the NFC. I've been talking about this all week. Um, so as a Rams fan, I hate I hate the Niners, but I'm now hating the Lions because of their success. They beat us in the wild card, which shouldn't have happened. But with the Niners, obviously, I don't want them to even sniff the Super Bowl. I don't even want them to get close. But if the Lions get close, they have the opportunity to win the Super Bowl. And if they win the Super Bowl, we can no longer say we won that trade because now we have a Super Bowl and an old Matthew Stafford, and they have a Super Bowl with Jared Goff, who's younger, Jameer Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch, what's his name, the linebacker Campbell. They're set up and they'd have a ring, and I would be so pissed off because for the last 2 years we robbed them, or like because we got the Super Bowl immediately, and it's just like that's what I have to lean back on something as a Rams fan. The last few years have been quite up, down, and mid.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
But
Into our next topic. So I've been looking at some mock drafts recently. What about you?
no, I mean I've seen some, but it was before the playoffs were over and stuff. But I mean, I've just been trying to learn about the prospects, which
Uh,
I don't know.
so
I don't know who's
I
going where,
see
but
that. I know this episode you wanted to talk about more about the draft, and
oh yeah,
I've been looking at some mock drafts. I always look at
that's
mock drafts.
which really I would like you to. I mean, you can read through one,
All
and
right. Yeah,
I can react to it with
I
you.
look
I
at a
just
lot
want
of
to talk
them,
about
but I look at CBS Sports one.
mostly. I just wanted to talk about a few key players, like mostly the quarterbacks,
Yeah, me
the
too. I just want
corners,
to
and
go through some
receivers.
key players. Like, all right, round one. The Bears are still expected to pick Caleb Williams, which
Mm.
means I guess they'll trade Justin Fields, or I don't know. Maybe they'll have a little quarterback battle and see which one they want to trade.
Fields to the Falcons feels like destiny for people who like Madden and stuff like that,
Then
like
Washington with
like
the
I
number
do.
two pick. they go Drake May or Jaden Daniels. CBS Sports says Drake May. I think they would go Jaden Daniels.
That's a Daniels. Yeah, that totally. I mean,
Washington would totally pick Jaden Daniels.
I said that week 1 or episode 1, I believe. I think they would love to go for RG3 too. I thought that's what the Panthers were going to do with Richardson.
They didn't though.
They should have.
All right, let me see. Patriots. They're expected to go Jaden Daniels. I think they get Drake May.
That I mean, if it makes sense for either team, like why you don't have the coaching or like the just even like the franchise or like the vibe for a kind of Drake May. You guys have ruined quarterbacks like that already. You need someone like Jaden Daniels who can take it into his own hands. And the
Yeah, but do
Patriots are
they
used
get
to that
Jaden
type of.
Daniels if Washington's above them? Do you think Washington goes Drake May?
I wouldn't want to if I was Washington, but
I wouldn't
also
be surprised if
I don't
Washington
know.
did, but I don't
Where do
think
they
they
think
do.
they're at? Where do you think Washington thinks that their position is with the team? You know, do they think that they're a couple steps ahead or a couple steps away from contending, or do they think that they're rebuilding? Or that's kind of a weird team because they have
Ooh,
players
that
like
is.
Terry McLaurin. You know,
Yeah, I think they are. Like, I think
if
they.
they shopped Terry, I would know. You know what I mean? If they got rid of him, I would know that they're rebuilding. But I can't. Why
I
is
don't
he
know. This
there?
defense was pretty bad, so maybe they
Traded
are
away the whole
rebuilding just
defense.
because they really don't have that many pieces.
I mean, it seems like rebuilding. It's they're not, it's not like they're selling shop for picks or anything like that. They happen to be the second overall pick this year. But I mean,
Yeah, they kind
going
of
through.
just suck.
Let me ask you, who's the first corner on that mock you got up there?
On this mock, let me see. Who the hell? I know who this is, but like, damn, from Missouri, Ennis Rakestraw Jr. to the Raiders. That's interesting. I would have thought it would have been Nate
That's
Wiggins.
such a Raiders pick. You don't even know who he is.
Yeah, I would have thought it would have been Nate Wiggins, dude, which is Clemson's corner, and he's expected to be the second corner, number 15, to the Colts, which is cool for the Colts. I
Where's
wanted to go
Cooper
back
DeJean?
here. Marvin Harrison Jr. is supposed to go to the Cardinals.
They will be an immediate contender.
Weapon for Kyler. You think so? Wow.
I think they'll be an immediate contender if
Brock
they get
Bowers to the Chargers at 5. That'd be crazy.
That's what I've been seeing everywhere, and that's what I think they should do. That offense is pretty good. You know, like imagine Quentin Johnston makes a second-year leap somehow. You know, like maybe they get him into the short passing game instead of the deep ball where he obviously can't get it. Then maybe they put him in like a screen game or something like that. You
Oh,
get him some
yeah.
yak type game, like
That'd be
maybe
weird.
something where like easy catches for him, like especially if they get Harbaugh. You know, the Harbaugh they could definitely run some college type sweeps with him or whatever or something. They could figure out a way to get him open
College,
there. And then Brock Bowers.
Harbaugh runs a good offense, like, wherever he goes. He did it on the Niners.
And then Brock Bowers, you know, especially that would be such a big piece of
It's
your
not
offense
really,
if he
it's
pans
not
out
really
the same
too
way he looks.
college. It's kind of more pro-ish.
Well, I mean, I like Bowers to the Chargers at number 5, even if he's pro-ish or still acting
Neighbors
for
to
college.
the Giants at 6. Neighbors that high? Wow.
Malik Neighbors at 6. I thought they'd go with line, just because that's like a weird spot.
Yeah.
Maybe they probably should go receiver.
I wanted to talk about this. Rome Odunze to the Jets. That would be good for Rodgers.
They need an offensive line. That's a weird situation there because Rodgers apparently wants them to trade for Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, and David Bakhtiari. I don't know how they're gonna do that.
Alabama's edge Dallas Turner to the Vikings. Holy wow.
Okay. Real quick.
Oh man, this is such a Broncos pick. Bo Nix at 12. That's horrible.
What does it say? McCarthy to the Seahawks there?
Let me see. No, Cameron Kitchens from Miami. He's pretty good, but
Is he a quarterback?
safety.
Wow. What do we get? Who are we getting?
Cooper DeJean.
We get Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
I want JJ now.
Apparently, the Eagles are getting Kool-Aid McKinstry. That'd be nuts.
Man, the Eagles, man. They're gonna. Who?
We're getting someone from Minnesota, Tyler Nubin.
What is that? Who is he? What does he do?
I don't know.
Okay.
Dude.
Let's.
Georgia. One of Georgia's corners to Green Bay. Green Bay, who just fired their defensive coordinator. That'd be interesting. I wonder who they're gonna get. Hold on.
Chop Robinson.
Chop Robinson. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. These two guys who I think are really low in the draft. I don't know if they go this low. Edge rusher Jared Verse from Florida State, 26 to Tampa Bay. That'd be crazy if he went that low. Chop Robinson at 27 from Penn State, who I think is really, really good. I think he's only going this low, projected this low, because he's going in as a junior. I think they probably think he should have stayed another year, but he's projected 27th to the Cardinals. And Xavier Worthy, Texas's junior wide receiver, is expected to go to Buffalo. That'd be a good pickup for Buffalo if they lose Diggs.
Buffalo needs to do something. They got to do something there.
Yep. I don't have anything for the second round, but it looks like JJ McCarthy is projected to go in the second round.
Wow, he's just like Will Levis. He's gonna be like Will Levis. Okay.
No.
So if there's nothing more to say on the draft prospects, all I wanted to say was Caleb Williams is going to be a problem anywhere he goes, unless it's like the Raiders where he wants to go, but it won't be. If we're ready to move on, I wanted to pivot to let's go back to UFC 297. We had our predictions last week. I wanted to react to the card and what our thoughts were there this week.
All right, you were right about Movsar beating Allen. I was wrong about Allen.
He's a fraud. I'm telling you. He doesn't fight anybody good.
You know what, though? I was right about Chris Curtis. He didn't do anything. I was right about it. I right about that.
Chris is mid still. Dominic Cruz said he looked like he was out there sparring.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't too impressive, but I was right. That's all that matters to me.
Chris, I don't know. I like Chris, so good to see him win. It's not a very impressive win, but happy for him.
We were both wrong about Mike Malott, man.
Man, that was bullshit. Did you watch?
Neil.
You watch the whole round or the whole fight?
No, I honestly went to go take a shit.
Yeah. So Mike Malott.
I should have done that during the next fight, honestly.
I was ready to take my W, or RW, I guess, on Mike Malott. And he was winning up until, I'd say, 2 minutes left in the last round. And he got tired, and he lost position, and he went for a leg lock.
Oh.
And it was, it's not always a great idea. He kind of scrambled around for it for a little bit. And then Magny got the mount and just pounded him out like nonstop, straight punches right down on his face. And he hit on Magny, but I was like, damn, it was 15 seconds left in the fight.
Man, then the co-main event sucked. Straight up sucked.
You can give your thoughts before I give my story about this fight.
It was just boring, man. I honestly went to go do something else. I made cookies because I make homemade cookies. I'm really good at cooking and baking and shit like that. So I went to go make cookies in my oven.
So there's the stats are hilarious.
And yeah, I heard it was a boring fight. I'm not surprised. I watched like 2 rounds of it. And Raquel Pennington won. We both bet on Silva to win, and sucks.
So looking at the stats here, there's 0 knockdowns. I went through decision all 5 rounds.
Pennington just lit her up, it looks like.
265 for 342 total strikes thrown for Pennington, and only 96 out of 118 thrown for Bueno Silva. That's bad. That's not. She didn't throw much. That's crazy. For over 5 rounds, she got 3. How many takedowns? She got 3 takedowns for 9 attempts. But the only highlights I've even seen of this fight is the last 30 seconds where Bueno Silva is laying on her back and Pennington's just kicking her fucking leg. So that shows you about this fight. But with this fight, I actually fell asleep in the second round. Yeah, this fight was so fucking boring. I passed out. And I actually missed the next fight, which I'm going to have to go back and watch here as soon as the UFC releases the full fight again. But yeah, fuck you, Pennington and Bueno Silva. I fell asleep and missed, the main fucking event, which I wanted to
That's
see.
crazy. I'll tell you all about it. Well, not all about it, but I'm pissed, man. I'm just really pissed that DDP won that decision. Look at his face compared to Sean's. I mean, I know that doesn't like win you a fight, like what you look like after a fight, but just look at his face. Um, yeah. So Sean easily won rounds 1 and 5. Everyone knows he won the first and last round. And then some people think DDP won 2, 3, and 4. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I think DDP won round 2. I think Sean won round 3.
So, yeah, I fell asleep and I didn't watch it.
Like,
You can't look at his face and see that it's fucked up, but the stats and like the highlights are very interesting to watch.
yeah,
I have
I thought Sean won rounds 1, 3, and 5. I thought he won that 3-2. I think you got to beat the champion. You have to beat the champion to be the champion, and DDP didn't really beat or prove like anything. He didn't really beat him very decisively.
I'm not surprised. The
I thought
soonest
it was
chance they
3-2,
got.
and with how close rounds 2 and 3 were, like Sean arguably won both those rounds. Sean arguably could have won that fight 4-1.
So here, I have some opinions on Sean's style. When I look at the highlights, I see Dricus mixing it up a lot better than him.
That's
You know,
fair.
Sean's style is, jab, cross. It's a great boxing style and it works for MMA. It's pretty cool, but if you go watch some of his other fights, like with Uriah Hall, he won that fight decisively with his style, and he could have probably finished Uriah, but he didn't even push the pace, and he got the decision. And then when he fought Jared Cannonier, he fought the same way he fights everybody, fought the same way he fought Dricus, and he lost that decision too. His style is effective for constant MMA pace and everything, but it's not. It's he's never really put a stamp on close fights. It works and he doesn't get hit, but if you're not hurting them or landing big looking shots, like Dricus landed bigger looking shots in those closer rounds, like the head kick everybody's seen, the big hooks that were landing. He's a bigger guy, and they probably made a lot of smack when they were landing. And Sean did get cut, which was from a headbutt, but the judges didn't know that, and damage is damage. This isn't me saying that Dricus won or anything, but I can definitely see the case of why he won. Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse, agrees with me. It's just about mixing it up in MMA, and he definitely he got 6 of 11 takedowns, which there's not much control, not much done with it, no submission attempts, but takedowns do equal points. If you're in a close round and you get a takedown, it can win you the round. Like if you watch Carlos Esparza versus Namajunas 2, the most boring fight in UFC history.
Oh, I've seen
The only
that. Oh
thing,
God.
the,
Oh,
the
I've
only
got
thing that
live.
stamped that, she got the fucking belt. She won the belt from Namajunas because she got a fucking takedown in round 4. That is the only thing I remember in that entire fight, besides booing at it from not in real life. Like I was on a couch on a TV booing a TV, but that it won her the fight. That one takedown. It's just like close fights, different stuff. It depends. It's context, but yeah, unfortunate that it had to be so controversial. I thought Dricus would have finished him because Sean he doesn't get hit like everybody else, but you've seen him he's got chin before, and I thought if Dricus landed, he could have chinned him, but he didn't really.
Hmm.
That head kick didn't really even hurt him, so it was an unfortunate, controversial fight. But go Dricus, I guess.
Yeah, I think they did that. They want to set up the Izzy and DDP fight. I think Sean should get an instant rematch, but I don't think they'll do that.
This isn't realistic, but I want to see him fight Paulo Costa somehow. Just two big, swole, weird middleweights.
That'd be wild.
But if we didn't have any more opinions about UFC 297, I did want to move on to an announcement that came out today.
Oh,
Mike Tyson is going to be fighting again, and he's going to be boxing Fedor Emelianenko, MMA legend,
I think
in boxing.
Tyson is gonna win.
Oh, it's going to suck too because Fedor has been hurt. I mean, unless it's like if it's the same stupid rule set where he fought Roy Jones and it's no knockouts, then Fedor could have a chance. Point boxing, I guess maybe. Not.
I don't
I
know,
doubt
man.
it,
Mike
but
Tyson is a very technical boxer, despite the fact that he's very malicious and knocked people the fuck out. If you look at him, he was very technical. He's really good on defense. He had amazing power. That's what set him apart. Like, he wasn't just a power puncher. He was very technical. He had great footwork, great head work, great defense, great everything.
yeah, but
Overall great fighter. So I don't know, in a boxing ring, I don't know if Fedor beats Mike Tyson.
I'm just thinking of the rules. Like, can he clinch? How much can you clinch? Is there gonna be like headgear? Is there knockouts allowed? If there's knockouts allowed, I'm taking Mike Tyson all day. There's no doubt. If it's a point based thing, you never know what, like, MMA. We just saw Francis Ngannou come over and basically beat Tyson Fury. So Fedor's no Ngannou, but I'm just saying, for hypothetically, to devil's advocate, yeah.
Man.
So I mean, but Fedor could just die, and it could be sad. But did you have any more thoughts on that?
No, not really. I got Tyson. Go Tyson all the way.
Yeah, I mean, I also want to see Tyson like get a brutal knockout. But if Fedor could win a point competition, that would be something else. We did just see Anthony Pettis beat Roy Jones Jr. in boxing as well. I will say that.
It's fair.
But moving on, for
Say
fun,
Pettis
we
is
wanted
in
to
better
do.
shape.
Yeah, I mean, it was a weird thing having a 55er fight a fucking former heavyweight, but he did it, I guess. If we're moving on to just this list, a little top 5 list that I wanted to do for fun. We're going to be doing our top 5 receivers here. Do you want to start at 5 or do you want to start at 1?
Start at 5.
Start at 5. So pivoting back to our top 5 NFL receivers, we're going back to football real quick. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first? So at number 5, my top 5 NFL receivers, I got Amon-Ra. This was, I wasn't sure if I was going to put Amon-Ra, or let's see, who was the other one? I was debating someone else. Pardon me, this is so unprofessional. I had a list. Oh, yeah, it was Devontae Adams. I wasn't sure if I wanted to put Devontae or Amon-Ra or Mike Evans up there. I was kind of, I did definitely think about Puga for a minute there. I'm not going to lie as well. But Amon-Ra made the cut at number
Puga's
5.
top 10.
Yeah, but Amon-Ra is just so young compared to everyone, to Devontae, to Mike Evans, and he's a big playmaker. He's arguably lifted the help. He's a big part of the Lions lifting themselves up out of the 3-13 season or whatever, 3-14, 13. I don't remember, but he's impressive, and he's who I knew was gonna ruin our fucking wild card game that week, and he was. So who do you have at number 5 there?
See, in my number 5, I would go ahead and I'd go ahead and I'd say Mike Evans.
He's a good number 5. I definitely didn't. I didn't think he'd be getting his 1,000 yards this year at the beginning of the year. It was looking rough.
He's at my number 5 because he's very consistent.
Definite Hall of Famer.
He has hands. Really good.
Yeah, Marshawn Lattimore knows that.
Number 4, yeah, going into my number 4, which is Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams, unfortunately, he's been stuck on the Raiders.
That is true. But you can see he still produces. He's still good. You can tell if he had an amazing quarterback, he'd be great.
Yeah, he'll be a great Jet.
Still is great. Oh, you think he's going to go to the Jets?
I think the Jets will trade some like 2030 first rounder. I don't
Who's
know.
your number
They're
4?
gonna. For me, I had AJ Brown at number 4. He's towards the end of the year he sputtered out, but there was a point in the year where he had 125 receiving game yards and like a touchdown, I think, as well for like 5 or 6 games. It was almost a historic streak there. I think
Yeah,
someone else
I
had
can
something
see
similar, but
that, but I left AJ and Amon-Ra St. Brown. They're like my 6 and 7.
yeah, I
And I
I
say
take youth
Jamar
into
Chase is
account.
like my 8 at this point.
Yeah, youth for me is important as well, and just ability. Like I think AJ's bigger than Devontae and Mike Evans. Like he can just catch and run somebody over almost. He's got like the Debo kind of yak, but like the Metcalf size and like all the skill there too.
They went to the
He's
same college.
yeah, he's a big body guy, and it helps with a lot of stuff like that to be built like Derrick Henry as a fucking receiver.
See, you're number
Who'd you have
4.
at number?
At number
Yeah, he was
3,
AJ Brown. Who you got?
at number 3, I have Tyreek.
Me too.
Maybe it's crazy putting Tyreek that low, but I have a surprise at number 2.
I think now that you said that, I think we have the same guy at number 2.
We
Um,
might.
I think we might, but I have Tyreek at number 3 as well. His speed and he's a definite weapon, X factor guy. He's the whole Miami offense pretty much. Like Jalen Waddle doesn't do nearly as much as he does, unfortunately, even though he's great. But Tyreek is a weapon. That's
Oh
simply
yeah.
all you can say about him. But he's a little bit older, and he's getting a little bit hurt now that they're trying to get him to these 2,000 yards. So it's just like, will he? How much longer can he keep it up? But yeah, he's definitely insane. Uh, but if you don't have,
All right.
I want to go number 2 first. Actually, I want to go see.
Yeah.
I want to see something. At number 2, I got CeeDee Lamb.
I also had CeeDee Lamb at number 2. Thought I was
He's
biased because
still
I was a
playing.
Cowboys fan, but I do.
No,
I think he's really
he's
turned it up. He's been great. He's shown that he's wide receiver 1 for a reason.
yeah. I still think Puka Nacua is going to be better
I
than
think
him
even though he had some drops
historically.
in that playoff game, I think there are some people other than him to blame. Like, there are more people than just CD to blame other than those drops. I mean, if you look at it, CD's also the only one who really had a good game at all. I mean, him and Jake Ferguson, but still. CD had a decently solid game. He dropped some pretty crucial passes, though, but I still put him at number 2.
He's definitely a playmaker. He can run outs. He gets open. He makes guys miss. He's really shifty. He might be a Swifty. You never know. Now that he's not playing, he might be a Chiefs fan. But he's he's a young guy too. Just like I've been saying, his connection with Dak is crazy. I think if you put him on any offense, it would elevate a team immediately. But it's weird because he wasn't doing that when Amari Cooper was around, but Puka Nacua is doing better with Cooper Kupp around. I'm just, I like to say Puka's better and on track to be way better, but, CD had a better year, so it's kind of, he earns this number 2 spot for me. He would have been Offensive Player of the Year if he had kept it all the way up and Tyreek wasn't doing all that he had been doing,
I don't know. CD's probably going to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, so Puka might be too, but CD's going to be there too. My number 1 is
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. That's crazy. We had the top
easy.
3 all the same.
It's easy.
Maybe we should have done that the other way around. But, I mean, people like to switch Tyreek and Jefferson around. I think the age and the height and just the abilities, like, Tyreek's not jumping over somebody to go get it. He's not doing that big one-handed catch against the Bills last year. Justin Jefferson is not going to speed past everybody at mock speed like Tyreek is, but he gets open anyway, and he doesn't even have to be open to make the play. So it's like, he obviously better than Chase, even though Chase will say he's better or they're the same or whatever. It's stupid. And I mean, I'd like to see Justin Jefferson not as a Viking eventually, which or
Oh
give him
no.
some crazy young quarterback like Caleb Williams. That'd be funny. Trade up for the number
You
one
think he's
overall.
gonna take after Randy Moss and leave the Vikings, or you think he'll be a Vikings lifer?
I think the Vikings is just one of those franchises that can't make the right choices totally, and so when a player is going to eventually want that ring in the bag, he can go to somewhere like Jacksonville. Something, I don't know.
That's
He
fair.
can,
Or
where the young
Jacksonville though.
quarterback. Hey,
When
I
has
like
Jacksonville ever made the right decisions? Yeah, they went 14-2 once and went to an AFC Championship twice, but what have they done other than that?
when they knew when everybody else didn't know that Christian Kirk was worth it. You know, I was like, what the fuck are they doing? But it worked, and it was the right move. And then they did the wrong thing with Ridley, which everyone would think was great. So they're really weird. Well, I've made an update here on Connor Bedard's jaw injury on the past 2 weeks, so I figured I'd fill anybody who cares about that back in. I certainly do because I like to watch him play. Uh, he will be out at least 6 more weeks with his fractured jaw. Poor Connor. He's skating and he still loves the game, but his face is just not quite the same. Love the guy. Hope to see him back in a couple months or something like that. We're not a good team. Let me see our record. Hold on. We're not a good team. We weren't doing great with or without him, but he was definitely a playmaker, quite a highlight guy. We're 14-31-2. Blackhawks are not great this year, but Connor will lead us out of the darkness eventually. He's not Wembanyama. He's not 7 foot or anything. Okay. This is everyone's favorite part of the episode. We're moving on.
All
Caleb's
right,
corner.
my corner, my time,
His his Tom.
my time. All right, let's get straight into it. Today we have some interesting things. I think this is gonna be the best rendition of this section. So first we're gonna kick it off with Ohio State's hires. They hired a new athletic director last week. Texas A&M's fired athletic director Ross Bjork. Um, they get him. That is a decent hire, I'd say. And then Ohio State hires Bill O'Brien as their offensive coordinator, which I think is funny. Bill O'Brien has never had any success. He hasn't even had success when he worked for Nick Saban. He never had success when he worked for Bill Belichick. He's never had success anywhere he's worked. I don't care how good of an offense he builds. He doesn't translate to success at the highest rate. I don't think he does anything with Ohio State, honestly. I think it's funny. It's funny attempt, and so are Ohio State's transfers. Ohio State's transfers, which I think is funny. They're basically Texas A&M now. They're paying for the team. They're paying for the team. They're getting all these transfers from Alabama now that Nick Saban has been fired. And I'm not really that mad. I think we'll beat them a 4th year in a row. I don't care who our coach is, Harbaugh or not. Let's go. 4th year in a row. Let's see it. Y'all soft,
It won't be Harbaugh.
soft. They're soft and we'll beat them. I don't care. All these little 5 stars y'all got, all these transfers y'all got. Go ahead. I see it. But yeah. Looks like Ryan Day's pandering to save his job. So we'll see if it works. I don't think it will, but we'll see if he proves me wrong. And then I'd like to go into a better topic. My favorite team, the Denver Nuggets in basketball. We're doing very well. Jokic is being continuously dominant. He's looking like he's going to have another MVP season. Although Embiid is having a great season as well. It'll probably go toe-to-toe with them again for a 4th year in a row. Hopefully Jokic wins his 3rd one this year. I know I'm rooting for him. But he's had a really good stretch of shooting. His worst shooting game since December has been 55%, and that's still pretty good shooting. A streak of going like 85, 90, 100, 90, 100. Like, he's just been amazing, and he's had a lot of triple doubles this year too. I really think Jokic is gonna win it.
Real quick before you move on,
All
uh,
right.
I wanted to ask you this, and you can just cover it in your corner before I have to add it to next week's what I forgot. The Brian Callahan hire for the Texans or Titans. How mid is that, and what do you think of that? Just real quick.
Oh man, I honestly wanted to go over that another week. I wanted to go over like all the coaching hires and shit as a whole, like when they all happen.
Yeah, they're doing them so freaking like so scattered out. It's annoying to cover, but
Yeah.
you can move on if you don't want to talk about it.
All right. And then next, I wanted to talk about Embiid's 70-point game on Monday. That was insane. It was against the worst team. Well, not the worst team. One of the worst teams, because the worst team is the Pistons. But it was against one of the worst teams in the Spurs. And they played. Wembanyama had a pretty good game. 33 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks. That was pretty good, but Embiid outplayed him just a little bit with 70 points, 18 rebounds, 5 assists with a steal and a block. He shot really good. 24 for 41. That's 58%. Shot 50% from 3, only 1 for 2 from 3. So 70 points with only 1 3-pointer. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, Embiid, he's a different kind of beast. I respect the guy. I know a lot of Nuggets fans hate Embiid. I don't really hate Embiid. I like Embiid. It's not really a rivalry going on between them. It's kind of just the fans. I think it's kind of stupid. I like them both. I think that definitely might change the odds in Embiid's favor for a little bit, but I think Jokic is just gonna continue to be dominant like he has been, and Embiid is going to as well, but Jokic is going to keep getting those triple doubles and just racking them up and those insane shooting performances, and I just think he'll end up winning MVP. And then another topic I wanted to get into, Harbaugh to LA was really spicing up yesterday. Yesterday people were saying it was really close to happening, like they was really close to signing, but it ended up with nothing happening at the end of the day, which I'm really happy about as a Michigan fan. And then today there were reports that he's back in Ann Arbor, and we offered him a extension to be the highest paid head coach with clause in it, where if anyone like gets a higher pay grade than him, like then we automatically give him a raise, so he's always going to be the highest paid head coach, kind of similar to what Nick Saban had, but now he's retired, so Harbaugh can have a similar deal. That's kind of insane that we can do that, and we have the power to do that, just like Alabama had the power to. But that seems like a pretty sweet deal for him, and I think it also comes with incentives of him not being fired on anything to be found in an investigation. So we're giving him what he wants, it seems. It seems like we're really set on keeping him, but there have also been conflicting reports that he is in LA still as of today, and he has postponed his second interview with the Falcons for later, and he is still waiting on the Chargers to make a final interview, or not a final interview. They're waiting on the Chargers to make a final offer, but I think if they don't make a final offer, or if they don't like his offer, or if he doesn't like their offer and what they're talking about, I think he will go probably fly his ass back to Ann Arbor, Michigan, and start looking at that contract. I do think he will do a second interview with the Falcons, but I think the Falcons are very intent on signing Bill Belichick. I think that'll happen. I think the Chargers will end up charging and they'll fumble, and we'll end up getting Jim Harbaugh back. It'll be great. I hope that happens, but right now it does really look like Harbaugh to the Chargers.
Yeah.
Fuck that though. Harbaugh to Ann Arbor again. Keep the dynasty going. Make a dynasty. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, he's been there 10 years and got one title, but it's a fucking dynasty. Okay.
I said make a dynasty. Fuck you. All right. And final
What?
topic of my corner. The Bucks fired their head coach despite being 30-13. I think that honestly was a stupid decision. Like, I know he was supposed to be the defensive guy. Adrian Griffin was supposed to be the defensive guy and shit. But and the Bucks have still had one of the worst defenses, but they've had one of the best offensives, and they're like, obviously the Bucks are consistent. They're gonna make a deep playoff run. They might even win it all. They won it all with Budenholzer in 2021, like 2 or 3 years ago. Like, I really think the Bucks had a shot this year, even with that head coach. I don't know why they fired him, but they did hire a good replacement in Doc Rivers, despite what people say about his reputation of Game Sevens and all that. I think
Wait, they
Doc
replaced him
Rivers.
with Doc Rivers?
Yep, Doc Rivers got hired today.
By the Bucks?
Yep, Doc Rivers
Ah,
to the Bucks.
why do people do this? What the
I
fuck?
don't understand.
I don't even know much about basketball, but I know people. I know Doc Rivers is a bit questionable.
He's won a title before. I'll tell you that
Not
much.
with a good team, right?
Not what it gets it. What the fuck? He won with one of the best teams, 2008
You
Boston
know,
Celtics.
I watched the old video on him and it was like he can't win. He can't win with a good team, but he won with a bad team or something.
Man,
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
The 08 Celtics were at a big three.
My brain must be farting.
They were really good. He couldn't win with the Clippers. They lost multiple game sevens, which is crazy. Man, he's fucking let 3-1 comebacks happen a lot. That's crazy. But that's not all on him. That's on his players too. But still, yeah. Despite his reputation, that's a good hire for the Bucks. Still, um, I think the Bucks will be fine, despite firing the head coach that they didn't need to fire. And that'll wrap up Caleb's Corner for this episode. Yeah. On to the shenanigan of the week.
Well, I did just discover something right before I want to get into that. I did want to say happy birthday, Sean McVay. He's 38 today.
Oh, wow. He's not 40?
Go coach. Nope, Mike McDaniels is.
Old ass.
Yeah, I mean, happy birthday, McVay. Love you as a coach. Learn to take timeouts and run the ball in the red zone, please. But moving on to my favorite segment
The
is the weekly.
Cowboys are not
The
firing
Cowboys.
anybody.
Yeah,
But
y'all should be the
anyways,
weekly shenanigan every week.
that should be the
Y'all are.
shenanigan of the week. But let's get on to the real shenanigan.
So to set the scene, UFC 297 prelim fight is Sean Woodson versus Charles Jourdain. It's announced a split decision, and just what the scorecard here. Okay, well it was 29-28 for Woodson, and then they said 29-28 Jourdain, and the winner by split decision, Sean Woodson. And then it spirals. The ref. Hopefully, we can get a video clip of there. The
If you're watching
confusion
on
was very
YouTube, you'll
visible.
see the video clip.
It was very visible. So the confusion was so dumb because all you had to do was listen to the guy's name. They both guys forgot their own name. But yeah, that was just. I mean, when that happened, I had to rewind, pause it, go look it up, see everything. I'm like, who do we blame here? But that is the shenanigan of the week. We try to cover a lot of sports, and so this week with the shenanigan being not football, we're gonna try and mix it up as much as possible. Once the NFL season is over, we're gonna award a NFL shenanigan of the year. Once all the Super Bowl's over, and we can pick the goofiest play of the year, and hopefully we can just we can make something fun off of that segment as well. Maybe do some. I like to have honorary mentions, like the fucking Patrick Mahomes' helmet cracking last week, and this week with Lamar Jackson running into the tunnel after his touchdown. That was pretty funny. But if you have nothing else to say, I'm all set for this week. I've had a fun episode with you.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
ready for next.
it's been a
Wait
good
for all the games.
episode. Yeah, I have nothing more to add on for this week. It was a good episode. Thankful for all our viewers and everything, all our listeners. Thankful that anyone new tuned in. Hope y'all enjoyed. And we'll see y'all on next week's episode of Shenanigans.
Peace.